In this video, we're going to talk about Taylor Swift's global influence into two parts. The first part is the Tortured Poets Department, the anthology, which is the newest album published on 19th April. According to Luminate, the sale is 1.5 million in the first week. This breaks Taylor's own record for the largest sales week for an album, and all her 31 songs of TTPD are inside the Billboard Hot 100. So what kind of tools that we're going to use to analyze Taylor's global influence? Well, basically we're going to use Excel, doing some graphs such as bar charts or line graphs. And then we're going to do something related to the stats, such as calculating the growth rate, mean, maximum, and so on. After that, we're going to use the pivot table, do some graphs, and insert the slicers. We also included the Python to recommend the top 5 songs in this album. Lastly, we'll use the solver to do some optimization. So this is a dashboard that I've already created. In the rest of this video, I'm going to tell you how to create the dashboard like this. To create the first graph, we have to find the correct data of global Spotify streams. So I open the X app on my phone and search Spotify daily data and input the Tortured Poets Department. And then we can find out the global streams on Spotify in the first week. So here's our data. The next step is to create the graphs. So we go to the insert, and you can see there are plenty of choices for us to choose, but basically I just choose the bar charts. We change the name of the title as TTPD on Spotify week 1, and then adjust the font and the size of these numbers. Next, we go to the chart design. If you want to do a quick add, which means add X and Y axis, titles, data labels, and other information together, then you can choose the quick layout. But if you want to add element one by one, you can choose the add chart elements. So firstly, I need data labels. Then I hit the outside end, and then you can see the data is above the bars. Next, I choose the trend line, which gives me a linear forecast. The trend line is used to predict the change of the data and directly provide the trend, which fans want to see most. Lastly, we change the theme color to fit the album style. Similarly, we have to find the data for the graph 2 first. Search Spotify daily daytime, click Spotify charts. Then we can see the global weekly top songs. At the upper right corner, you can change the global to any other regions you like. So here we have the first week data. However, we want to do the daily report, so we can change the weekly to daily. You can use Python to climb the data. To save time, I pasted the data in advance. If we look at the dashboard, then you can find we need date slicer, while we don't have date row. As a result, we need to create a new sheet. Paste the song names and streams, enter the data, change the format by choosing the short date. Then we repeat. Once we finish the date number, select the first column, press Ctrl+G, choose Go To, click Special, hit blanks, equal to A2, press Ctrl+Return. Then we got the 7 dates. Select all data, go to Insert, choose Pivot Table. I use the existing worksheet to make it easier to look. Next, drag date into the columns, 31 songs in rows, streams into values. Then we go to the Pivot Table Analyze, choose the pivot chart. It automatically provides us with a bar chart. But we could change the chart type. You double-click the graph, Then go to the Change Chart type, choose whatever you like to make the graph clear to understand. Like what we did before, we also need to add the title for the chart and change the font and the size of the labels. After that, we go to the private chart, Analyze, click Insert Slices, select Date and 31 songs. Now we've got the slices. If you click one of the dates, then the graph will only show you the date of that day. But if you press Comment and click two or more data, the graph will exactly present what you asked. Go to Slicer. We've got diverse choices for the slicer styles and colors. Choose the one that fits with the color of the album. In the Slicer section, we could find the columns. As we want the date into the 7 columns, then input 7. We could also change the size of the slices. In the right section, the size of the whole slices could also be changed. If you don't want the title of the slices, then you can go to the slicer settings, untick the display header. After this, we're going to do some statistic things. Calculate the total streams of every song in this album, and also calculate the growth rate. Then calculate the maximum and minimum of the growth rate. The final step is to find the top 5 songs in this album, and then we can do the recommendations. I'm going to do this in Python. Basically, I've already coded, and I've got the results of the 5 top songs. They are Full Night, Down Bad, So Long London, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, The Tortured Poets Department. If you don't know how to code, you can ask ChatGPT to offer you the code, like how to find out the top 5 songs in a list. In the third part, we're going to do some optimization. But first, we're going to find the data. So I Google the errors tool and find the news containing some cost and profit. So I've already extracted the data. The yellow sector and the total profit is what we want to get. However, we have to input the formula first. We use some product function and select the ticket of the prices, comma, the quantity of the tickets. Then we can calculate the total profit. Input equal, choose total revenue, minus costs, add Disney income. Next, we have to find the constraints. Of course, the quantity must be greater than 0. Since the information in this news is limited, we just assume another constraint is the total revenue is over 123 million. Go to the solver, select total profits in the set objective. You can choose whether maximum or minimum. It depends on what you need. I'll stay with the maximum here. The changing variables are the quantities of tickets. After that, we add the constraints into the box. Press OK. Now we have the answers. To see the figures correctly, go to Home, change format to number. Finally, we come to the last step. Create a new sheet named as dashboard. Now all we have to do is to put all of our graphs and slices into the dashboard. Go to the Insert, choose Illustration, and select the square frame. Name the titles. Now I'm going to do some explanations. From the figure 1, we could easily notice that day 1 has the highest streams, with decreasing fluctuations in the rest of the week. Besides, the total streams of TTPD is over 1 billion. Basically, in figure 2, the slices are used to help the viewers see the data clearly. Additionally, the top 5 singles are the 5 highest streams on Spotify globally, which can widely represent most audiences' choices. If you guys never listened to TTPD before, these top 5 songs are your chances. As for the growth rate, taking maximum as an example, the changing streams of TTPD was the largest, which means less people listened to the TTPD song, while people enjoyed I Can Do It With a Broken Heart more. The figures for tickets and total revenue are enormous, which means the concert film was prevalent among people of all ages. Again, these shocking numbers prove Taylor's global influence. To make the dashboard look more appealing, we Google TTPD's album photo and take it as our background. We can change the transparency in the picture format. As a result, the photo won't affect the visualization. Last but not the least, in this video, I didn't do the comparison among regions, while it is worth to do so. Apart from that, the data may not be exactly correct, especially in the optimization part. Therefore, the results should be for reference only. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any interest, please go to Spotify, Apple Music, or any other platforms to enjoy the TTPD album. Swifties also welcome you to join the Tortured Poets department.